Now I currently editing a video, and I understood why I couldn't make this video for a long time, because I look on these pictures, I remember my emotional I'm in hotel. It's also air alarm. It's my, but he is all fine. I like emotionally remembered all situation, how I felt these days. Hello, this is BlondeKyiv, and I would like to continue my story about war. So I was woken on February 24th by the sounds of explosions. Russia officially attacked my country between 4 and 5 a.m. Just to remind you, we have been already at war with Russia for 8 years. Here is a map of explosions showing where they sent missiles that morning. On 24th February, I saw how people immediately jumped in their car and left the city. I decided to stay. The traffic leaving Kyiv city was at standstill. There was no petrol and gas station. There was panic that Daesh military bases and other targets were hit with missiles. I feel that if I start to count all targets, it would be endless. What I can say about this war? This war has united our people. People are helping each other and collect donations. We have all become one big family called Ukraine. Russians cross the border and start moving to the direction of Kyiv, Chernigiv, Sumy, and other cities. And at the same time, they continue to shell my country with missiles. People start moving in the different direction and leave their homes, especially in the areas where it was too dangerous to stay. I remained in Kyiv, and I saw a lot of refugees in the central train stations. A lot of people leave Kyiv, places around my city, and it was for me as like it was my personal nightmare. And at the same time, I saw and heard explosions every day and every night. I couldn't sleep because I awake or by air alarm or by explosion, something like this. And it was most of the time it was night or early morning, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. during the day. So it was hard to sleep and be calm, because it was like terrible months for me. I honestly, I didn't understand what happened. At the same time, we also faced problems with food and medicine. Pharmacies were empty, many of them was closed. The lines to enter the grocery store were long, and there was very limited food available. At the beginning of the war, Kyiv was without food, medicine, and petrol. Curfews were put in place, sometimes for a period as long as 48 hours. In the city were a lot of saboteurs and separatists. Air raid sirens, shelling, it was constantly in my town. People were moved in bomb shelters and metro station, which were operating as shelters. Pregnant women have to give birth in awful conditions. Every day there was a crazy traffic because people constantly are leaving city. In many cases, it would take 20 hours to travel 100 kilometers by car. But there also was evacuation trains, but it was very hard to get inside. I even got one. Now I show you video.
Я не могу, хватит! Блядь, невозможно!
It was a winter, also it was very cold weather, and people stay in cold with small babies in a border with Poland, trying to get out because there was so many people. They were cold, hungry, so it was also not so easy leave the country in this situation. What to say more about Kyiv? Kyiv was bombed every day, every night, and Russians have managed to get inside Kyiv. There was street fighting not far from the center of Nabolon district. Regions near Kyiv such as Bucha, Irpin and Gostomel were occupied from the very beginning. People risked their lives trying to escape. Many of them were killed. The events from there, as well as other villages, it was a nightmare. Women were raped, others were killed. What they did there, it was just a nightmare. I would like to say that they're animals, but I can't because they are far worse. They just destroy the life of people, harm houses, everything. They killed dogs. They just did a mess with all the place. I didn't want to leave Ukraine, and I decided to collect donations and go to the rest of Ukraine and bring them to Kyiv, because in Kyiv we have nothing. And also I started to working with press. About this I tell you in my next video. So to get medicine I have to jump in train and went to Lviv. It was terrible trip. I don't know how I managed to did it. During the trip we could hear explosions. It was very scary because we heard that Russia bombing railway stations too. Because of stress, 3 women faint in the train. I also heard how a small child asked his mom, "Mom, Dad will not die." All this time that I spent in Kyiv and surrounded area, I have heard a lot of crazy stories, terrible stories. So while I was in Kyiv and surrounded area, I've heard a lot of things, and I would like to share with you. So see you soon. I'll continue in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.